Valvoline liveried Ford on pole position. The Toyotas next of Aaron Taylor-Smith and Josh Cook behind. Josh switching to Toyota Gazoo Racing UK for the rest of the season, and third on the grid. Tom Ingram starts fifth. Ready to go racing. Lights are red. Lights are out, round 24 he's going, a good getaway by Ash Sutton, good start also by Daryl De Leon as the cars accelerate down towards Redgate for the first time. Josh Cook trying to get up the inside of Aaron Taylor-Smith. Remember, Cook on the quicker tyre, and he does brake as late as he can, and Josh Cook will go second on the inside line. It is Ash Sutton ahead though for the race lead, and squeezing his way up into second place goes Cook. Third it is going to be Taylor-Smith, and Ingram is already up to fourth at the expense of Daryl De Leon.
Well, Josh Cook was rolling before the lights went out. I don't know if the officials picked it up, but he was definitely moving, and that's helped him get up to second place.
So the cars go up through Schwantz curve, but we might well have the start under investigation in a moment. We'll see as Ingram is trying to find a way now past Aaron Taylor-Smith. So Cookie up to second, but that might be under investigation. We'll see. Sutton is leading the way, and he's getting a bit of a gap already. Ingram being held up slightly by the Toyotas that, of course, want the best result they can possibly get. They're not in the championship hunt. They just want points. They want a good result. Ingram's on the attack, though, now up against Taylor-Smith as they come on to start his straight, and this is the run all the way down to the S's. Ingram to the outside line, and he's got the job done. That's on pure pace, and he's gone by, and the start is under investigation for Josh Cook. A false start is being looked at.
Yeah, unfortunate, because he didn't need to do that. He's got the soft tyre on the medium tyre, the softer of the two compounds available. Didn't need to do that. May have had a clutch problem, I don't know. We heard the bonnet was up on the start line, but looks like it's going to catch him out, but it's no stopping Ingram. Look, he is absolutely charging, but hats off to Ash Sutton. That's a good first lap on the hard tyre. Ingram cuts to the inside.
And Cook tries to defend, but Ingram has got the pace. He got the run off the corner, then they go toe-to-toe, but Josh Cook on the inside line trying to defend for all he's worth. Locks up, brakes so late, the car squirms, and Ingram's going to get up the inside line. He's all up the curb, two wheels on the dirt even, but Ingram's going to go by, and Taylor-Smith tries to buy into this as well, and he's up the inside of Cook. They almost bang mirrors. Aaron Taylor-Smith goes through, up into third place. Here comes Cook back on the inside. He's got his nose in front, but Taylor-Smith will have the line for the corner. ATS goes third. Great racing.
Just a little bit too much rear brake bias on Josh Cook's car, so when he braked incredibly late for the Redgate corner, it just locked the rear up and twitched him a little bit. That was all the gap that Ingram needed to cut back on the inside. But Aaron Taylor-Smith, remember, he's on the hard tyre, fighting his teammate really hard.
And also you saw Chris Smiley making progress then. He, from the back of the grid, is getting himself up the order. The two Toyotas are still squabbling, look, as they come side by side here. So Aaron Taylor-Smith versus Josh Cook making the run again for third place down to the S's. Cook is just ahead. Taylor-Smith brakes late. Are they going to get side by side with the corner? They do, amazingly enough. So Josh Cook gets mugged. Back up a place into third goes Taylor-Smith. That's Daryl De Leon now looking for a way by. And just to add to the Toyota battle, Gordon Shedden's next in the queue.
God, all three Toyotas running very close together there. De Leon doesn't manage to get through, but Taylor-Smith does.
He does so as Jake Hill is next up, and he's got Dan Rowbottom behind him. Rowbottom having got himself ahead of Dan Lloyd on that lap. Replay of the start. Watch Cook third on the grid.
Difficult to see from that angle, but from where I could see it, the sideways look, he was definitely moving.
So it's being looked at by race control. Tom Ingram, fastest lap of the race. There are Hill and Rowbottom together as they head towards Hollywood. That's the battle for seventh place. The order is Sutton, Ingram, Taylor-Smith, Cook, De Leon, Shed in the top six, Hill, Rowbottom, Morgan, Lloyd, who is leading the independents to round out the top 10. Smiley from the back is up to 17th. Doble, after his travails yesterday, up to 16th.
Oh, and guess what? Ingram has caught up to the back of Ash Sutton with a new lap record of 1:33.62, and battle is well and truly on now.
Battle is on for the race lead, battle is on for the championship. The two drivers fighting for the crown are fighting for the race win here as well. And Tom Ingram is ready to make his move. Sutton's going to try to defend. He said it was going to become the widest forward focus possible, and it's wide enough to just hang on to the advantage into the S's, but here comes Ingram looking for the inside line. That is suddenly blocked by Sutton, who jinxed across the road. To the outside line goes Ingram. Wide into the hairpin. He doesn't need to get the undercut coming out. He's already ahead on the outside, but then he gets run up wide. Sutton goes back through. They clatter each other, but Sutton is going to lead on the run up towards Goddard. And there, Ash Sutton proving he's going to be no pushover in this. Ingram then, right on his tail.
Oh, this is battle well and truly engaged. Don't forget, you have to give a car room on the outside of a corner. That was marginal between Sutton and Ingram, but they know how to play the rules. Watch for a dive up the inside, not coming on this lap, despite Ingram having better traction, better braking ability on the medium tyre.
Behind them third is Taylor Smith and Cook fourth, De Leon fifth, Shedden sixth as they came across the line. And now the two race leaders still together as they drop down the hill. Ash Sutton leaving nothing on the table. Tom Ingram waiting for the moment to strike. It wasn't at Redgate, it wasn't at the old hairpin. It could come at McLean's, and that's not this corner, but it's the next right-hander. Here comes Ingram. The move is just about started, but again Sutton covers off the inside line, so Ingram has got to think about doing it at Coppice if he can do it anywhere on this lap. Sutton oh so defensive, straight away to the middle of the road. Ingram to the outside,
and then he'll cut back again, hoping that Sutton runs wide, but Sutton doesn't. Now he'll hug the left-hand side of the track all the way down to the chicane. This is going to be a big ask, isn't it, for Sutton to maintain this for the rest of the race. And he hasn't got any help from another fast car behind, which could hinder. Oh, a great cut back there from Ingram. He's got a little bit of an overlap. Now we'll have the inside as they come up to the hairpin. Is he going to pull it off this time? He is.
Race leader Tom Ingram as they come out of the hairpin, but Sutton straight away is on the attack. He's back up alongside, but that's only going to give him the outside line for Goddard, so Ingram should get the deal done into the corner. Sutton's going to try to stand his ground on the outside and make a move at Redgate, but there's no way he can do that. So Tom Ingram does lead at the end of the lap, but Sutton is still fighting. Great racing between the two, and Sutton's back ahead in a straight line. Now he needs to dive across and cover off the line for the corner. He moves across on Ingram. There's just about room for the Hyundai on the inside. Ingram elbows out up the inside line. He's back into the lead, but Sutton is not giving up. Fantastic stuff. He's down to second place. Ingram leads down through the Craner curves, but do not rule out Ash Sutton having an inspired dive to try to get himself back into the lead before Ingram starts to build a gap.
Well, he had probably only had that chance then into the old hairpin, because I think by the end of that Ingram will be gone. But unless the extra boost that Sutton has got is enough to stay on his tail. Remember, he's got 8 laps. Ingram only had 5.
So they head towards Coppice then, and it remains Ingram ahead. Sutton in second place, Taylor Smith third, ahead of Josh Cook, Daryl De Leon, and Dan Rowbottom now up into 6th. There's still no more news about the investigation into Josh Cook's start, by the way. So for now, he remains in 4th place, as you see in the background. Chilton, number 3, getting himself ahead of Jake Hill here, and that's a change for 8th place. Chilton, remember, started 15th, so he's had good progress thus far. Getting driving standards flags now for Moffat, for Aaron Taylor-Smith, for Nick Halstead, and there you can see Dan Rowbottom squeezing up past Daryl De Leon. So Rowbottom is 5th. He's heading towards the zone where he might be able to help Sutton, but it might be too late because Ingram's already gone, isn't he? And he's starting to build that gap. Sutton was just ahead when they crossed the line last time by 9 thousandths of a second. Ingram leads at the end of the 5th lap by half a second.
Yeah, without a safety car, I can't see Rowbottom getting up there to help his teammate, who is gamely hanging on to the back of Ingram, who's up 4 places now from his 5th place start.
Race 2 winner, by the way, Dan Camish in 15th spot, as we get a replay of what happened to give Ingram that race lead.
Yeah, Sutton tried to cut back, but of course that put him on the outside, then coming up to Goddard's. If he could have gone all the way around the outside, which he was trying to do there, turning in, but he just doesn't have enough grip, and the extra speed that Ingram has means he comes out the corner in front, and crucially on the right-hand side for the next corner at Redgate, and he's now starting to stretch that lead.
He is indeed, as Rowbottom is closing onto the back now of Josh Cook, and there's a battle there, look, between Gordon Shedden and Tom Chilton. Gordon Shedden is making the run out of Coppice, but Tom Chilton with the pace goes ahead, and Jake Hill is going to be next in the queue. Sam Osborne, by the way, is up into 10th spot, so he's made some good progress in this race as well. This is lap 6 out of 14. Shedden sideways, having to fend off Hill now, bearing in mind Chilton has mugged him for 7th. And that's Rowbottom about to make a move, look, coming down the inside of Josh Cook, and he gets the job done, heading into the Melbourne hairpin.
Yeah, nice clean pass, and Josh didn't fight that one too hard, so there was no contact made.
Goddard's they come. Next target for Rowbottom is Aaron Taylor-Smith, having a good run in that 3rd place. Up towards the line they come. So Ingram getting away now from Sutton, and the gap is up to 1.2 seconds, more than doubled. Now this is what happened for 4th place. Looking back here from Taylor-Smith's car, that's Rowbottom on the inside.
Yeah, getting cleanly through, and of course Ingram has that fastest lap, the extra point that goes with that, and he's leading the race for the extra points as well.
Race leaders then plunge downhill. This is Jake Hill's view as he tries to squeeze past Gordon Shedden. Side by side they run. Shedden skims the curb. Sam Osborne is right there behind them, but Jake Hill makes the move stick. He's 8th at the old hairpin. Shedden's dropping back now.
He is, and Sam Osborne right behind, trying to take advantage of a slow exit by Shedden from the old hairpin, but can't quite get close enough as they approach McLean's. Here we are on board with Osborne. Shedden just in front. Osborne having a strong race in 10th place.
He's not done yet, has he? As now Rowbottom is about to go for the podium and get up past Taylor Smith. Remember that Aaron is on the hard tyre. Dan Rowbottom is on the softer medium tyre. Nose to tail they run, but do not expect Aaron Taylor Smith to make this an easy fight. Through the S's they come. Rowbottom with a big bite of curve. Catapults up the inside, heading down to the Melbourne hairpin. This for 3rd place, and he's going to break as late as he can. He's going to get the job done. The next intrigue in all of this is going to be whether he's allowed to pass Sutton.
Yeah, well, that was his trademark pass there, so use a little bit of extra inside curb, if you like, on the chicane to slingshot him out on the run down to the Melbourne loop, and it works out very well for him. But you're right, he's going to probably catch up with Sutton, and then I think he's going to have to sit behind him and give keep Sutton's rear protected, because I don't see Rowbottom particularly going after Ingram for the win, and Sutton desperately needs all the points he can get.
Right, so let's see how the team situation pans out then. These are the gaps, as you can see. Ingram coming into the old hairpin. He's 1.6 seconds ahead of Ash Sutton, who is the best placed, of course, on that harder tyre. Rowbottom is 3rd, then it's Taylor Smith. Cook Chilton is a man on the mission as well, isn't he? Because having started 15th, Tom Chilton's up to 6th place, going great guns.
Yeah, really good shout. Dan Camish, the race 2 leader, obviously on the hard tyre for this one, is down in 15th place. He really doesn't appear to like the hard tyre very much, does he?
And Sam Osborne here is closing on Gordon Shedden. Now, Shedden's on the medium tyre, don't forget. He used the hard at the start of the day and got that out of the way, but Gordon's dropping back in the pack now, so I just wonder whether all is well with that car. We know he's quick, but Shedden falling away. He's about to lose out potentially to Sam Osborne. You're riding with the Nottinghamshire driver then, as he gets a good run against Shedden down towards the S's. Not able to make the move there, but he certainly looks quick, does Sam Osborne.
Yeah. Needs to try that Rowbottom move of cutting that right-hand curve generously to take advantage of the extra speed.
But I think he's just lost a place. Dan Lloyd, in fact, getting on the inside of Osborne. Let's check. Yeah, he's gone through. Well, not quite gone through. He had a look, but Sam Osborne certainly under attack from Dan Lloyd. And there you've got Tom Chilton now, who's ahead of Josh Cook. So that puts Chilton up into 5th place. Mega drive this by Tom Chilton.
This is a fabulous drive by the race 1 winner. He's thoroughly enjoying Donington Park, isn't he?
Is he ever? Comes over the line. Next target for Tom C is Aaron Taylor Smith. Just wonder whether after that he might be able to go after the Napa Racing UK Ford of Dan Rowbottom. There is Tom Chilton for Team Virtue, heading down through the Craner curves once more in the sunshine, and Ingram fights the car out of the old hairpin. Sutton behind. The gap down a little bit last time because quicker by 0.6 of a second, Ash Sutton.
Well, Ingram flung the car, didn't he, into the old hairpin. Big old slide there. Wondering if he got some dirt on his tyres, but you're right, the gap has closed down, and in fact the quickest of the 3 is Rowbottom. He's catching both up.
Indeed so. There he is in that 3rd place. So Ingram, Sutton, Rowbottom, then a bit of a gap back to the battle between Taylor Smith, Chilton, Cook, De Leon, Hill and Shedden to round out the top 9. It's Sam Osborne in 10th. This is that moment, that slide. He clips the curb, look, does Tom Ingram, and then has to fight the car through the old hairpin. Beautifully
controlled. The car control of these top drivers is fantastic to watch. That's not easy to do in a front-wheel drive car, believe me.
Right, there's Sutton. Rowbottom is closing up all the while. We have still got 5 laps to go at the end of this. There you can see Darryl De Leon getting up the inside of Josh Cook. Now, Cook started 3rd on the grid, and he's on the medium tyre, but he's losing places, and we've lost Nick Halstead up against the barriers, and that looks like it's mechanical, doesn't it, with all the smoke coming out of the front of the car?
It does indeed. I hope that doesn't develop into a fire, a serious fire, because otherwise it could be covered with a yellow flag. But if not, it's going to produce a safety car, is it?
Yeah.
I have to say, Chilton's drive is absolutely fantastic. Yes, he's got maximum boost. Yes, he's got the medium tyre on, but he really is. Oh, there's oil down there. That's oil on the track. That will be from or water. Yeah, that would be from Halstead's car.
Safety car deployed. So the yellow flag's waved. The safety car is going to be called for. Nick Halstead pulled off up at the top of the Craner curves, just coming out of Hollywood. So the car is off the racetrack, but the safety car called partly to move it, and maybe the clerk of the course, Ian Watson, just wants to make sure that that liquid, if it does need treating, it can be done so. Give the yellow flag a shake. Let's have a look in replay. Look at the top of the hill here. Nick Halstead with a big cloud of smoke and spins on his own liquid, and the car goes off the road. The barrier awaits. Bang.
I'm pretty sure that's oil, David, from the colour of it and the way it went. I'm pretty sure that's oil. Fortunately, he only makes very light contact with the tyres. Unfortunately, if it is oil, it's in a very restricted part. It hasn't been all the way down the Craners and the old hairpin. So, sad retirement. But the state of the track is also a concern for Ian Watson. Thumbs up from the medical crew, just that he's all right.
On board here with Jake Hill, that's Daryl De Leon up the road, looking to try to make a move against Josh Cook, and he makes the move at the Melbourne hairpin, and that puts Daryl De Leon 6th and Josh Cook 7th.
Well, this is bad news, this safety car for Ash Sutton, isn't it, really? Because it closes a lot of potentially faster cars up behind him. He doesn't have that gap. Yes, he's got Rowbottom behind him, but there's going to be a lot of fast cars right there, including Tom Chilton.
We understand it's the continuation of the weekend gremlins for Josh Cook. That's the euphemism offered up to explain why Josh Cook's falling down the order down to 9th place. So it's been, as you've heard Josh say, a late deal to put him in the car, and just a few gremlins to be ironed out for Silverstone. So there is the oil that Tim had identified, and potentially that's going to need treating before we can get things back on the way. The car's going to be moved out of harm's way. Nick Halstead will be taken to the pit lane, and Tom Ingram, Ash Sutton, the top two. Dan Rowbottom then in 3rd place. Rowbottom could either be a thorn in Sutton's side or his protector, depending on how Dan feels.
Yeah, let's see. That'll be an interesting Napa Racing UK decision to make. I think if that had been coolant, it would already have been showing signs of drying out as well now with the sun on the track. But it's easy to see, and the drivers can easily avoid it. There's plenty of other lines you can take round Hollywood to avoid that.
There's the race leader, Tom Ingram, and he's exactly where he wants to be, not only in the lead of the race, but ahead of Ash Sutton, and therefore taking points away from his championship rival. So the Donington safety marshal going back to post. The car of Nick Halstead needs to be moved. So that, I think, is the reason for the delay rather than the oil on the track. That's an earlier drama for Nick Halstead. That was coming into the S's, so it's been a busy race for him.
Wonder if he got some stones underneath the belts or something, or overheated the engine. That was locking the rears up. Same issue we saw slightly earlier on from, I think it was Josh Cook, wasn't it? When you have too much brake bias to the rear, especially if you brake over a crest in the road like that, there's very little weight on the rear. So you have to get the brake bias, the pressure difference between front and rear, absolutely right. A front-wheel drive car does 80% of the braking on the front anyway, but a fraction too much on the rear and you can lock it up. Everybody still weaving to keep their tyres warm, but of course with the new restart program or restart rules and an acceleration zone out of the last corner, everybody will be in a very neat line of crocodile line when they do come back to the start line.
Let's see if I can drop in and have a word with Sam Osborne just quickly. Well, we've got the safety car out for another couple of laps. Sam, good race so far. You've been busy up to 10th. Good effort.
Yeah, we've been really busy. We've picked a few people off, although I think I've only got about 1 lap of hybrid boost left. So it's going to be a tough end to the race. I'm going to... Sorry?
You're going to have to make the car wide, aren't you, I guess?
Yeah, it's going to need to make a wide car, and I'm looking forward to a can of Coke when I get back.
Right, we'll leave you to it. Good luck, Sam.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
So
yeah.
Sam's also got the team trying to talk to him at the same time. We'll leave him to it.
Yeah, didn't know who to speak to.
No, quite. There's Nick Halstead's car being moved. You can see the witness marks where he slithered off the racetrack, and thankfully not too much damage to the car, even though the engine is probably now far from okay. So all of this is just going to add another lap or two, up to a maximum of 3 onto the race duration, and Tom Ingram will lead the cars through at the end of the lap.
Yeah, the Caterpillar recovery unit lifting the car and moving it off the circuit. Meanwhile, everybody drives round at slow speed, feeling like they're just wobbling about, really. The oil has been treated with a bit of dust, so at least everyone can see where it is, and we'll be resuming racing.
So then Nick Halstead's car off the circuit. Adam Morgan then.
Does he ever blink? He always, his eyes always, oh, he did then.
Just
his
one
eyes
blink.
are always so wide open.
Absolutely, yes.
Even under safety car. I'd love to know what his heart rate is. We'll have to put a monitor on him.
Adam right now is in 14th place, and he's in the pit lane, isn't he? Looking at the background, has Adam got a problem? He must have. He's in the pit lane, so after second place earlier on in the day, Adam Morgan down the pit road, and it's not because he couldn't drive through anything, so there's a problem, sadly, for Adam Morgan at the end of the day, and this rather looks like it's going to be game over, like fears.
Yeah, there was no hurried action from the team, was there? Oh, they're looking under the rear as if something's been damaged, or he's obviously getting a bad feeling in the car about something at the rear. Shame.
So, yeah,
Shame.
absolutely, because Adam's had good pace, not a winner this year, but oh so close, the team working away. Right, we're going to be up to 17 laps as the maximum then for this race. The safety car, its second appearance of the day for touring cars, still out there, but it might be in at the end of this lap. Tom Ingram, of course, race leader, so if he stays where he is, there are the winning points, ka-ching. He has got the fastest lap of the race, ka-ching. He's got lap leader points, as you were. So it's all panning out really nicely, this. And, of course, he's ahead of Ash Sutton.
And, of course, the whole crocodile has closed up behind Ash to make it even harder for him to maintain that second place. A lot of this will depend on what Rowbottom does.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say
he's key. And I think he owes Sutton a favour now, doesn't he, after race 2. So probably he's going to be a very good boy, is what I suspect.
Probably. Suspects. Those words are doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
I don't think anybody predicts much of what Dan Rowbottom's going to do they?
Least of all Dan Rowbottom, you mean, yes. So the safety car is in this time. Everybody bunches up. Ash might have another go, of course, to try and take the lead off Tom Ingram, but the fascination is going to be to see what Robo does, either on the attack or in support of his teammate. He, of course, needs to stay ahead of Camish to try and take third in the championship. He also wants to maintain a podium finish in this race. He wants to be ahead of Taylor Smith et al. And we're about to go racing then as the green flag flies. Down towards Redgate they go, heading in towards the braking zone for the corner. Ingram gets away. Rowbottom has a look to the inside of Ash Sutton, but he also has to cover off any move by Taylor Smith. So we're up to 17 laps. We've got 4 to go. We're back racing.
Yeah, I think that was a defensive move rather than an attacking move by Rowbottom.
And as they come down the hill, he's not exactly attacking Sutton there, is he? He is just dropping back, it seems, by a length or two and defending that third place, making sure nobody else wriggles past him and goes after Ash Sutton second in the championship battle. BMWs 1 and 2 together. Jake Hill number 1 gets past Darrell De Leon in number 2, and the reigning champion goes by at McLean's then.
And Chiltern having a big, strong look at the back of Aaron Taylor Smith's car. Does get through there, chops across the inside. Can he get an overlap before they get on the straight? No, he can't. So next chance is at the S's, but Chiltern's very much the man on a mission.
And there are lots of people on their final warning for track limits, incidentally. We'll worry about those in a moment as you look back then from Aaron Taylor Smith's Toyota. Tom Chiltern right up behind him. A sideways Darrell De Leon makes a mistake, and Gordon Shedden's up alongside the BMW, and he's past the BMW. This is Chiltern to the outside line. Taylor Smith on the inside. Look at Sutton closing up on Ingram under braking. All action everywhere you look on the Grand Prix loop, and look back from Taylor Smith's Toyota. Chiltern right up behind him. So for the lead it's Ingram, second is Sutton, and Rowbottom is playing the team game, looking third place.
Yeah, and because of the antics of, I say the antics, but the threatening of Aaron Taylor Smith, it gives Rowbottom a nice little gap behind him because Taylor Smith is busy defending from Chiltern, Hill and Shedden.
Leading independent at the moment, Dan Lloyd for Restart Racing 10th. Teammate Chris Smiley up to 15th as they all descend once more on Redgate. Then goes Dan Camish, the race 2 winner. He's in 13th place overall, but on that harder tyre, remember, that's going to compromise the pace, although Ash Sutton is on that harder tyre. He's second on the hard tyre, Taylor Smith 4th, hard tyre Hill 6th, hard tyre De Leon 9th, although in fairness, he's just dropped back.
One of the restart Hyundais going very slowly down the Craners. Not sure which one that was. Might have been a puncture, but just look, the car didn't look quite right to me the way it was sitting.
Here they come towards Coppice once more. Sutton dropping back from Ingram once again. And now look, although Chilton's had good pace, he's under attack from Jake Hill, who gets the run on the inside coming through Coppice. And through he goes. He made that look easy.
That was a lovely move. He got Chilton to defend between McLean's and Coppice and then cut back inside him.
Down they come towards the S's once more, looking back then at the Tom Chilton Hyundai for Team Virtue. And for the race lead, Sutton is certainly not giving up because he's closing in. He has another rather cheeky look to the inside, trying to unsettle Tom Ingram. But this is archetypal Ash Sutton. Never, never, never give up. Give him half an opportunity and he will take it. Morgan, by the way, has rejoined the race.
Well, I would say that if you were Tom Ingram, then Ash Sutton is uncomfortably close, isn't he? Because a lunge or a mistake, and it could be contact, but he's desperate to try and hang on. Is Ash Sutton on the hard tyre, remember?
Side by side there, look, Hill on the inside, Chilton on the outside. Neither of them have managed to find a way past Taylor Smith. They're involved in a big battle for fifth, and they've got Gordon Shedden seventh. Now, Shedden's rebuilding his race a bit. He dropped back further than that early on, and now he's regrouped and he's gained places again, or regained places.
Yeah, because he's on the medium tyre. There's a few hard tyres in front of him. Sutton, Taylor Smith and Hill all on the hard tyre.
Other people moving up the order. Dan Lloyd is now 8th as the leading independent. Dan Camish has gained ground. He's up to 12th. And, Chris Smiley has just come into the pit lane. So, having gone well early on in the day, Smiley sadly pits and is retirement. Looking back from Jake Hill, he's still running 5th.
Yeah, Smiley, who had the left front puncture. That was the car, it was a restart car I saw going slowly down the Craners last time round. He's now made it back to the pits.
There, the BMW battle between Daryl De Leon and Charles Rainford. 10th, that is 4. De Leon on the hard tyre, Rainford on the medium, so in theory he should be able to go by. Now, Aaron Taylor-Smith still resolutely hanging on to 4th place. Not much has come past him in this race, so Jake Hill's going to have to work very, very, very hard in order to do it. He tries the outside of the Melbourne hairpin, he wants the undercut coming off the corner, but Aaron Taylor-Smith knows exactly what Jake's going to try and just has the traction off the corner to stay ahead. Well,
of course, that's the this is the strong point for the BMW, the slow corner exit, the traction of the car, and the fact he's got medium tyre rather than the hard tyre should help him as well.
Over the timing line they come. We're on the last lap then of our final race at Donington. They head now down into Redgate Corner, and you've got Ingram the leader by 7/10 from Sutton. Then it's Rowbottom 3rd, and this is the battle for 4th, where Taylor Smith, Hill, Chilton, Shedden is the order.
And Ingram's got a little bit of a gap then on this last lap. Hopefully that'll keep him going until we get to the braking areas of chicane, Goddard's, Melbourne and Goddard's, because that's where he's been under approach. But Hill's not finished with Aaron Taylor-Smith yet.
And Chilton is behind, ready to pick up any pieces. Fastest lap of the race, remember, still. The point goes to Tom Ingram and Jake Hill and Dan Lloyd on their final warning for track limits. And you're on board with Hill, and he's in a big fight with Taylor Smith. About a third of a lap to go as they come through Coppice. Jake's thinking about the inside line. Taylor Smith knows what he's thinking, and he covers that off as Ingram heads down the Starkey straight run towards the S's and then onto the Grand Prix loop for the last time. Behind Hill, it's Chilton. Behind Chilton is Shedden. So this battle pack is for 4th, and Taylor Smith is just ahead as they come through the S's. And again, Jake Hill is on the attack. He's attacking and defending because Chilton's right there behind him. Down they come towards the hairpin. Taylor Smith on the inside line. Chilton trying to unsettle Jake Hill to no avail. Here are the leaders though, and Tom Ingram is on target to extend the championship lead yet further, to take a 5th win of the year, a 38th career win. And Tom Ingram wins race 3 at Donington. He rounds out the day in style. Ash Sutton 2nd, Dan Rowbottom 3rd, and the battle for 4th is just going to go the way of Aaron Taylor-Smith ahead of Jake Hill, then Tom Chilton, Gordon Shedden 7th, Dan Lloyd 8th, and to win the independents it's Daryl De Leon 9th, and then 10th it's Charles Rainford. Great racing all the way through, and a really important result for Tom Ingram. He's had a great day as far as the championship's concerned.